And welcome back to our weekly Patchnotes discussion. I'm here with Carl, so I'm quickly gonna hop over to Discord. Hey, my man, how you doing?
Hey there. Good evening. Doing well, and you?
Not bad, not bad. Weekend again, so yeah. Icarus update, very interesting one for that matter.
Well, I'm assuming things will ramp up as they encroach or as their expansions or the DLCs are basically finishing up. So,
Yeah, they've been
expect
doing a lot of work on the Great Hunts expansion.
exactly.
Great
Should
Hunt is
be
not gonna be a
getting,
DLC, it's gonna be an expansion, so yeah.
well, with DLC expansion, it's new content. That's
True,
whether or not
but
you pay for it is the
exactly.
definition, in my opinion.
The expansion is free for all, where a DLC is paid.
Exactly. But indeed, I think we can get cracking into it.
Yep. So, we are at week 164, the Lava Hunter respawn. So, week 164 update is all about the Lava Hunter world boss spawning. It will now spawn as a world boss outside of the mission structure. As said last week, Lava Hunter is the one you fight at the last Prometheus storyline mission before going into the Null sector. They have now converted it into a world boss, and even when you have not done that mission yet, it is already available as a world boss.
Ooh,
Nice.
interesting. It doesn't make sense. I mean, if the monster or if the creature is like has a certain zone for its home, it would be sensible that you would bump into it. But
Oh yeah. So, welcome to week 164. Now this week we have enabled the Lava Hunter world boss on Prometheus to spawn outside of its specific mission. This will allow you to fight it over and over again without having to start a new prospect. Nice. We have also
uh,
done a quality of life pass on the rest of the world bosses spawns to address their regularity so you can engage them more. Yeah, Prometheus only had the Sandworm world boss, where Styx had Sandworm and Scorpion King and Alpha Wolf. So that should have been fixed by now as well. Good, good.
indeed,
So let's quickly jump in and have a read. Couple of notable improvements. Number one is something I've seen a lot of people complain about in Discord last week indeed. Fixing the cold screen space effect, which was applying incorrectly on and persisted unintentionally. So the frozen visor.
yeah.
Uh,
We had that before, a long time ago, where you had to push num9 or something like that, or numlock or something to get rid of the
number 9,
HUD, and
yeah.
then yeah, to sort of that was ages ago.
But this was an issue where people, even when they were warm, when they like restarted the prospect,
Would get that
they
visual
instantly
glitch.
got the frozen visor thing and they couldn't get rid of it.
Interesting.
There was a workaround last week on experimental. There was a workaround for it, and on experimental
Mhm.
branch last week they had a fix for it. This fix has now made its way to normal branch, so that should now be fixed.
Sounds good. I mean, having bugs constantly plaguing your gameplay session isn't, fun.
Exactly.
May might make it more challenging if you can't see where you're going, but
That is true. Yeah, it was an annoying one.
exactly.
They fixed the achievements Sticks and Stones and the Zero to Hero. So they're now correctly tallied and granted on Steam and in-game. They've been working with like removing some missions and stuff. So the achievement for like having done this many missions, you couldn't get the achievement
Damn it.
anymore because like amount of missions was
Yep.
changed. This has now been
Yep.
fixed.
Well, it's definitely good
And
for the
yeah,
for the achievement hunters or the completionists.
yeah, exactly. Fixed Black Wolf boss, the Alpha Wolf, not being present correctly in Olympus open worlds. They will now spawn correctly. So yeah, like I said, the quality of life passes on the rest of the world bosses spawns. Black Wolf now will spawn correctly on Olympus. Nice. I mean,
Well, I mean,
it's not a particularly hard one, world boss.
no, but he did drop quite a. What did he drop a lot of that we were surprised about? Was it?
Stringy meat.
Uh, yeah, stringy meat. That was it. He drops a ton of
Yeah.
stringy meat. Yeah.
So this would actually be an interesting one to get in Prometheus. So
Yeah.
you don't have to go to the Arctic to hunt wolves there to obtain stringy meat.
Yeah, it's probably not going to be. I mean, it's also. I've never actually seen how much XP you gain for killing a boss, whether or not it would be an XP farm or a resource farm, or why if there's any reason to farm the world bosses, basically. Because currently we don't have like items to craft
That
epic
is correct.
equipment. So until they introduce that, which they're gonna,
So
that's
the
that's
reason
basically.
to fight those world bosses is the fun.
Ah, yes, that small thing which eludes me. Yes, indeed. Yeah,
A little bit of a challenge. Let's go take on a world boss. Yeah.
indeed, indeed.
They removed textures and materials that were not used, resulting in smaller client pack sizes. So this should help with the whole upgrade process as well, like smaller files.
Good.
Texture optimizations which result in lower video memory and client pack size. This will help on graphics cards with lower memory, so less video memory being used. Always good, because
Yeah, I mean,
Icarus does use a lot of video memory.
I've never really checked, but I know that yeah, that was probably one of the reasons why it was probably slowing down. I mean, that's usually artifact popping and like really degraded performance if your video memory is full. But yeah, in general, smaller textures, as long as you don't compromise quality, is definitely good.
Exactly. So especially for the players with lower end graphics cards, this is going to be good news.
Yeah, the game should be geared towards 8 gig graphics cards. I think very few people have less than 8 gigs video memory in modern day devices.
You'd
So
be surprised actually.
no, there are. I mean, I definitely agree with that, but yeah, it's
Yeah,
optimizations are
like
useful anyway.
if the game only runs proper on a video card with at least 16 gigs, you're gonna limit your target audience.
That's correct.
Okay. Fix an issue where world stats and difficulty stats were being removed on open worlds when loading into a game with an operation in progress.
Hmm.
Hmm. Okay, so
That's an
you
interesting one.
start a hard mode open world, like we did
Hmm.
in Prometheus. Then you log off during an operation,
Operation.
which we did last week. Then when you resume it, somehow the difficulty stats are removed, and
Well, that's
your
the
overworld
question
is no
because
longer hard mode. That's
well,
annoying.
that's the question because you can't specify a difficulty for operations when launching it, can you? From planet on an open world, or do you?
No, indeed. This should take the difficulty stats from the open world itself.
Yeah. So therefore, if you have a hard mode, you'd always have hard mode
Yeah,
rewards and
but
parameters.
now if you then restart it and the difficulty settings are no longer on the open world but on the operation, and then you finish the operation, what stats are the open world going to be left with?
True, but I'm just struggling. Maybe it was a bug where if you started an operation that it sort of put it on normal or easy, or I don't know. Realistically, what I never, like I said, I haven't really launched
Yeah,
operations from plant side. You've always done that, so I
yeah.
have no idea what the interface looks like anymore. But I
No
recall
difficulty
you
settings.
was, yeah. So
And in the reward settings, you can see like
yeah, it
okay,
doesn't
you're
show the
running
correct
it in hard mode.
amount.
It
Yeah,
shows you the
exactly.
other
Yeah,
amount of rewards. But I'm more thinking about like maybe it moved the difficulty settings from the open world to the operation and left the open world without difficulty settings, thus defaulting back to normal. I don't know.
Yeah, something to that effect, yeah. But it's going to be difficult to discern unless you're running, the like a space dropped mission on normal. And I mean, I've never really felt that there is a big difference between the hard and normal, other than the
Well,
bigger reward. So
from an open world, I agree.
no, no, from even topside.
Don't really notice the fact that it is harder. But if you drop in from topside, remember, if you drop in from if you do it as a mission from the space
Hmm.
station instead of an operation from open world, and then you choose like the hard mode, there was like no respawn.
Yeah, that was the thing. Yeah, there was that mission. There was that caveat that sort of caused the hard difficult.
Yeah.
Not so much the awareness or the number of um, you know,
True, but that's then
aggressive
you
spawns.
need to run the mission multiple times
Yeah, in
in
order to
normal mode and
discern
multiple
actually,
times
yeah.
in hard
Yeah.
mode. Yeah, true.
That's the point. It's not really easy for us to know whether or not the operations that you're launching are indeed currently set as normal, easy, or I mean, or hard because there are so hard triggered
Well,
spawns.
you
It's like
can.
when you're defending
I believe it
when you're
also modifies the weather pattern.
Could be, but for example, I know that when we run something small, it's like, yeah, there is a set time when you will get aggressed, even if you're hiding on a corner, and you're behind walls and there's no vision towards you, the animals will aggress because you're set as a target as part of the mission.
Hmm.
So it's like, yeah, you can't avoid it. There's no sneaking around. There is infinite vision because they are set to aggress onto you on certain points. But regardless, we can move on. It's basically an interesting bug. There is just no way to tell for sure, in my opinion, you know,
Yeah, like I said, only when like you resume during an operation, and then the next time you finish it, then the next time you start a new, like if you log off, log back on, and you start a new operation, then you could check the rewards to see whether or not it's still like the additional rewards. But other than that, I totally
yeah.
agree. It's gonna be about impossible to discern easily what mode it's in.
And the next one is very interesting.
Fix an issue where the bunk beds would unintentionally duplicate every time a prospect was loaded. Now the bunk beds actually is something from Ashline's mission.
Because I don't have bunk beds. I've never seen
That is
bunk
correct.
beds.
You
There
cannot
are
craft
bunk
them
beds.
either. But
Interesting.
in the first null sector mission, you'll have to find an abandoned research outpost. That one does have bunk beds, and multiple missions in the null sector uh, feature bases, pre-built bases with bunk beds.
Interesting.
You cannot craft them, so you have to pick them up from that abandoned base and bring them back to your main base if you want to do so.
Oh, cool. So you can pick it up.
Oh yeah. You can
Ooh,
pick it up.
nice. That's actually pretty cool, being able to go get items only in certain missions that sort of causes you, if you wanted it,
Oh yeah.
get it, like a kettle or something unique, like
And
bunk beds. So pretty cool.
stuffed bear and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I actually have
fascinating.
in my Prometheus solo open world, I have this bobblehead, Stationeer's bobblehead.
Oh, yeah.
Even though I don't own Stationeers, so I cannot unlock that bobblehead. I got it from one of the pre-built structures in the operation.
Oh, there we go. See, that's actually pretty cool.
Indeed. Anyway, moving on to this week's main event, Lava Hunter respawning. So, we have enabled the Lava Hunter world boss on Prometheus to spawn outside of the mission. Like other world bosses, this can now be encountered randomly in the volcanic biome, and the timer for it to respawn will persist after you defeat it. Not sure what I mean with this last part of this sentence though.
I think it's like it'll only, well, I think it has to get trigger spawned in order to become a world boss. So you actually maybe have to run and finish the mission at least for it to be respawning or to
From
be
what I
inactively in.
from what I understood, it now spawns in regardless whether or not you have done that operation.
Well, based upon that last statement you mentioned, it's like it was the timer. So where was that statement? Where was it saying? Like the
Uh,
bosses that Konami cut randomly, and the timer for it to respawn will persist after you defeat it.
so there is
So
this
it'll.
when this was on experimental, there was like a 60-minute timer.
Hmm.
So you start your prospect, and like within 60 minutes, it will pop up as a world boss.
Yeah.
Also, I'm not
Well,
sure how many of those will be roaming the volcanic biome. I don't know
yeah,
if
it's
it's
just
like a certain region or is it gonna roam freely. Like if you have the Alpha Wolf or the Scorpion King, they're in a set location. And the location varies, but once they spawn in a location, they stay in that location. Where
so you're referring to like the sandworms, yeah,
the
yeah,
sandworms, you have the roaming one, which
yeah,
follow
yeah.
a
Well,
set route.
yeah, could be something like that then. But the timing thing just tells me that realistically, as we're running
Ah,
through the
look,
volcanic biome, it's
look to
yeah.
the line below. The Prometheus mission Fracture does not
Oh
need
yeah.
to be completed for the Lava Hunter to spawn in open worlds.
All right, cool. All right, that's good.
So this was mainly done so people could tackle the Lava Hunter outside specific missions, which
Yeah.
may be important in the coming weeks.
That's a very good hint that some
Very good
things are
hint.
moving. Yeah, that
Exactly.
means things are getting progressive quite nicely, which is good. But I will probably do my underwear injustice if I were to be walking around and suddenly that thing would appear behind me. So yeah,
I
I
mean,
hope that.
look at the size.
Yeah, well, it's mostly just the fact that it could be, a surprise moment, and not everyone, has the same response to surprise moments where there are, because Echo, we mentioned Echo doesn't like spiders,
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
this is like a lava spider,
Nah,
so I
it's not a
definitely,
spider. It only has 4 legs.
yeah, and
Ish,
it has
ish,
little
ish.
mandibles with thingies, so I
Exactly.
definitely don't think Echo would be very happy to see this thing face to face. So yeah, let's just put it that way.
That's why I kind of want to do the fracture mission with her present,
Mm-mm.
just to hear
Yeah,
her scream.
could be out, but we know it's gonna go for her. It's like guaranteed, 100%, without anything in doubt.
Exactly. So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one. And like I said, I know where whereabout it spawns in the operation, roughly.
Mhm.
So if your game would update, we could continue our volcanic
Yes, mission. Yes, that's
operation,
correct, but it's 2 hours.
and then
So,
maybe encounter this thing. So yeah,
I mean, we're in the right biome, I think. So,
I'm thinking actually what we could do is do Icarus session tomorrow, and instead do something else today.
could do. I mean, tomorrow I think I'm mostly just weathering the storm. But
Storm?
yeah, yeah, Ireland has a little bit of had a red warning today. There was some storm, something or other, coming into the country, deciding
Yeah.
to blow a few tree downs, and stop the country. But yeah, but it, but
I
yeah,
know.
that's anyway.
Yeah.
Quality of life world boss changes.
Yep. So world bosses in Icarus are giant creatures that appear in open worlds and on missions when traversing Icarus. These large creatures can be quite tough to deal with if not properly prepared. Now the current world bosses in Icarus are the Black Wolf, the Sandworm and the Giant Scorpion. And then starting this week, the Lava Hunter. Now each map offers different world bosses that naturally spawn. Obviously the Lava Hunter is only going to be in Prometheus, because we don't have no lava biome in Olympus or Styx. Now there can also be multiple world bosses of the same type present on the map at the same time. Styx by default has 3 Scorps, 3 Worms, and 3 Alpha Wolves, where Olympus, up until this patch, had 3 Sandworms, and Prometheus had nothing. So yeah, for example, on an Olympus open world, a maximum of 3 Sandworms can be present at any one time. And by the way, if you get a mission in, it's an operation, if you start an operation in which you have to kill world bosses, those world bosses, I believe they take the place of the current ones. Although it's been a while since I did it, I have to recheck old footage. I had in Styx at some point where I had to do an operation where I had to kill a couple of scorpions.
Mm-hmm. And then you had the double
Where
Scorpion
I
King
had this
spawn,
double
didn't you?
Scorpion King, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, world bosses can be tracked on the map via the World Boss module, purchasable from the Orbital Workshop. When equipped into your suit, this module will display map icons over every world boss currently active map-wide. This is one way. Another way, there is a sort of radio beacon, but that one actually, if you're within a couple of meters from that thing, it will show you the world bosses on the map. Third option, there is an armor attachment for the helmet, which shows you the world bosses. And there's actually an attachment I use on multiple of my characters, because like the helmet attachments are meh, and then I'm like, okay, would I want a little bit more resistance against the cave lung, or a little bit more storm resistance, or but at some point you go for deep veins anyway, and you hardly have to enter caves no more. You don't spend a whole lot of time in caves no more. So yeah,
True.
that module, that armor attachment is like not really that useful anymore. But one armor attachment is the one which shows you the world bosses on the map, and is actually a quite handy one, in my opinion.
Well, it might just be to pop it in to see if they're there, and then take it out, and then just go there.
I mean, you can place the beacon and look at it when you're at base, or
Well, this is true.
carry it with you if you're like actively looking for a world boss. But with that armor attachment, you at any time, wherever you are, you open up the map and you can see where the world bosses are. The same as the module. However, if you put it on your helmet, it saves you a module slot.
Yes.
Now this week we have modified the way all world bosses naturally spawn. As with the introduction of open worlds, there were some side effects which meant they spawned far less often than originally intended. Again, I'm pointing towards Olympus.
Yes.
Now in the past, every time you started or finished an operation in open world, the world boss timers would restart and not persist. Aha, now I know what I mean. Meaning that world bosses would spawn far less often in the world. And if you kill it, it would not respawn back until you restarted the or restarted the session, like logged off, let the server go back to lobby mode, and then come back in. At which point it basically resumes your open world and then does the world boss timer again.
Okay.
So this has been corrected so that the respawn timers now persist. So it will be far easier to counter these creatures in the wild. I think and I hope it means you kill one and like an hour later a new one pops up.
Would make sense.
And I think that's what they meant with that
Yeah.
end the
The
timer for
mind.
it to respawn and will persist after you defeat it.
Yes.
I hope that's what it means. Because yeah,
Sounds like it.
otherwise you could like in one session kill 3 alpha wolves and you needed a fourth one for some reason or the other. Which meant you had to like Go back to character select, wait a minute for the prospects to go to the dedicated server to go to lobby mode, then resume for new ones to pop in. So hopefully they respawn.
TDS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let us know your feedback on this change and if you're finding yourself encountering these foes more often in your open world sessions. We'll see.
Well, I think it'll be quite fun because, traveling in general wasn't a really cool thing, Well, I mean, traveling is just traveling, point A to point B,
Yeah.
deal with the usual nonsense and then go. But it did, I did enjoy traveling through the desert and then you accidentally get too close to the wandering sandworm and then it popping its head out to try and engage, and then you're like, you know what, I think I'm just gonna run. So it could be interesting if it forces an engagement, especially if it can keep up or cause, I don't know, lava volcanoes to spawn. I don't know,
Well,
block the, to capture you in the zone. We mentioned that one of the previous patch notes, they mentioned the Mammoth Arena like blockading, your entrance exit. So you have
yeah,
to fight it. You can't just run through.
yeah.
So yeah, it's like, oh well, dang it, the world boss is blocking me from, getting to where I need to go fish. So I have to kill this massive lava-eating spider creature thing in order to go catch a few
Yeah,
fish,
I don't
maybe.
think that's gonna be the case with the world
Yeah,
bosses as such. I think that's only gonna be the case for the great hunts, where
exactly. Yeah. So that was,
once you
yeah.
go in, you are committed to killing it or
Well,
die
that's the type
trying.
of thing, yeah. So, well, that was the point.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
As
it'll be
for
fun
the
if you're like fishing and then you catch a lava hunter. Basically, it's like, oops, you can go back down.
yeah,
I wasn't looking for you, big buddy. You can go back down there.
imagine you're fishing,
So,
you like reel the line in, and all of a sudden this lava hunter pops up, and like,
yeah, it's like, no, 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 no.
okay, run.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But
But
next week
yeah,
seems interesting.
yeah, I don't think the lava hunter will be able to outrun the Moa.
No, I doubt it. Exactly. So.
Next
It
week.
would be it would
Yeah,
it
yeah,
would be interesting though if it sort of had some capability of making it very, because it's like, oh, lava hunter, oh, I'm just gonna run past it. I mean, realistically, that is a legitimate strategy, and you're not forced to engage it.
true.
But if it was like a flying creature that's sort of like a dreadwing that was sort of just constantly pecking at you and sort of picking you up and then killing you, that you're forced to deal with it, it would sort of make you maybe avoid it or sneak, because sneaking isn't really a mechanic anymore. So sneaking past certain things. Remember when we used to have like the ghillie suits, like armors and stuff like that?
Oh yeah.
So,
The ghillie
so
suit
yeah,
to
I mean,
sneak past
going
polar bears. So instead of being
the
mauled by a
stuff.
polar bear, you froze to death.
Yeah, exactly. That was a good strategy. Icicles. We would just,
yeah.
polar bear popsicles. We would just, with a little
Uh,
bit of a salad. Make sure they get their greens. So yeah, it was
we
good.
are just disguising ourselves as ice rocks.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, yes. Blending in with nature.
Exactly. But yeah, next week, the Hammerhead Slug world boss. Judging by the picture, is gonna be a swamp. So yeah, another Prometheus world boss,
It
as
doesn't.
also
Look,
stated in the text.
yeah, I don't know. Hey, I look at that picture and the world boss title just. I mean, if you look at the size of like the alpha wolf or the black wolf thing, it's like, yeah, that's a world boss. It's a wolf.
Yeah, Black
But
Wolf.
this thing is,
I hardly count it among the world bosses to be honest.
yeah,
It's so
that,
easy
that's
to
my thing.
take
But I look
out.
at this thing and I'm like, it's a slug. It looks like a viscid basically, like just a different colored viscid. And it probably would
Well,
act similar. So I'm like, okay.
let's first go through the text. So we will be introducing next week a brand new world boss to Prometheus. It's the Hammerhead Slug, found in the swamp biome and sporting a deadly splitting attack. Remember, this is the
Aha.
one which is gonna like split up into smallers and then merge again and
Yeah, yeah. That was, we did read a lot of about them and the
in the future
drops etc.
content.
as
Yeah.
well. So yeah, yeah,
So
which makes sense. It will be.
it's gonna be an interesting one. And the same as with Lava Hunter. Sure, you can choose to outrun it, but I'll definitely fight them a couple of times just for the fun.
Yeah. No, of course, and like we mentioned, stringy meat from the Alpha Wolf, and we'll
Yeah.
probably get something cool from the Lava Hunter and the Slug. Probably would be a ton of what's
Well,
it called?
We
what's it
have
called?
seen stuff
Volatile
about
somethings.
hammerhead weapons, right?
Yeah, but that isn't coming in now. So eventually, yes.
So eventually
But
you'll be hunting those for
true.
that stuff as well. And it's interesting. There's not a great hunt, but just a normal world boss. So you can easily kill a couple of them to gain those weapons, which you might then use during the great hunts. So you don't have to do great hunts in order to get the weapons you need to do the great hunts.
Well, yeah. I mean, you'd have to work your way up to the top tier kind of things, but yeah,
Exactly.
it looks good. It's also another creature to look out for in the swamp. We're already familiar with everything as it is, so
Yeah.
having an additional mob to look out for that
And
gives you
don't
different
forget,
content.
Lava Hunter as well as the Hammerhead Slug, it's in world. So you're fighting the Hammerhead, and all of a sudden a couple of needles pop up. And like,
Yeah.
hey, can I join the party? And you're like,
Yes.
no.
Yes. Well, I mean, I'm trying to think when I've died last in Icarus.
I've died
But
last on Icarus when I was a bit too cocky and taken on a sandworm without taking a green pill.
ah, which makes sense. I think yeah. No,
I
actually,
was
I probably
showing people
recall.
how easy it is to take him out with a knife, and then I got a little
Yeah.
bit too close when I did the
Okay.
twisty
Yeah.
attack, and then I got
Yep.
spat
And
at,
then
and then
yep.
I didn't
Yeah.
have the green
Yes.
pill the active, and then I died to poison.
I mean, they do like smacking you and then sending you flying across quite a fair
Oh
distance.
yeah,
So yeah, we should probably hunt another sandworm again. But yeah, that's for another day.
sure. There's another another open world. We are currently running Prometheus open world. However, we can do some for your mission count.
Yeah, eventually.
Anyway, your support makes these updates possible. So if you want to support the devs, consider buying one of the DLCs. For example, the Pets bundle, which includes a creature comfort pack with extra food and water troughs, extra saddles, including the racing saddle I tend to use for 5% extra speed. It includes the pet companions pack, which gives you extra variants of dogs and cats, and actually also gives you the proper horse with its own talent tree. So not a Terranist, but like the real proper horse. And it also includes the zebra rescue mission. Well, you've seen me ride a zebra multiple times. I got it from this particular zebra rescue mission. The only way to obtain a zebra as a mount. Or you just say like, you know what, I just want to have it all. You go for the complete set bundle, which basically looks at what do you currently have and what don't you have yet, and I'm adding whatever you don't have yet. Then we get to the changelog. New content, basically Lava Hunter.
Indeed.
Lava Hunter and
Yeah.
world bosses in general.
Yeah. The spawning timers changes.
Yeah. Fixes. So some
Optimizations.
optimizations. The bunk beds pending cleanup no longer attempts to spawn the top bunk actor on the gameplay. So yeah,
Hmm.
basically the bunk beds. Fix a typo in the
Some.
tooltip.
Hmm.
Fix a bug where it couldn't be picked up after the game was reloaded. So good, good. Uh, update the skeletal meshes for the obsidian sickle, no pickaxe. Pickaxe obsidian and the standard sickle.
Hmm.
Uh, when rate limiting damage numbers, always emit the first damage number immediately if there are no other damage numbers currently being processed. Whatever, thanks.
It's yeah, just probably preventing your machine from, like, if you had a whole bunch of dots, on a creature or like a bunch of damage sources that it doesn't, display everything and just create like a square block of damage numbers.
Yeah, so basically unreadable numbers.
Yeah, making it easier to see the numbers. So, pretty cool.
Added a fix for the recently introduced edge case. So basically, this is the frozen visor issue.
Yeah.
It's been fixed. Fix attachment slot availability not being shown on ranged weapons. not being shown. Hopefully it was still there. I haven't had an issue with those though, but fix an issue where radars couldn't be activated. Yeah, I've seen this mentioned once or twice in Discord. Now I'm not sure whether this was the issue like there is no snap point or you can place it but you can't activate it, one of the two. But I'm glad they fixed it because this is blocking operation progress.
Yes. It's an odd one to encounter, especially if you've spent time and effort, well, not time, well, yeah, basically effort to
Well,
get to a certain point, you put down your beacon and it just refuses to function.
I've had a couple of instances where, when playing on my dedicated server, I could not place the radar because it did not show the snap point. What I had to do is I had to move the prospect to my local PC. There,
Mhm.
the snap point showed up, so I could place the radar and like finish the operation. Then move the prospect file back to the dedicated server and run it from dedicated server again, so I had proper performance again. It was very annoying, but hey,
Interesting.
at least there was a workaround. And it is easier that I run my own dedicated server, so I could easily transfer the files back and forth. However, if you rent a dedicated server, it's slightly more work to get the
Challenging.
prospect files back and forth.
Well,
Anyway,
they fixed it, so that's
yeah.
good.
Fixed bug where the prospect world difficulty stats for dynamic missions operations were being cleared on reload. Talked about that one already. All prospects, open world and missions, should now have the same number of world bosses that spawn, with a few exceptions, that is. Previously, each mission in open world would individually specify the minimum and maximum number of world bosses that could spawn. Now this is done on a per map basis to reduce confusion. Yeah, make it more uniform. Now also I wonder, like currently you start the open world, you resume the open world and like just instantly all the world bosses are there. Maybe now they like pop in gradually.
Well, having a staggered timer randomly might make it a little bit interesting if as long as within like if they're not spawned in already, because if the timer has elapsed, then the world boss is supposed to be there because you just signed out or whatever have you. You just went to lobby mode because you made a small base outside the world boss, spawning area where you saw him right there in front of your face. So when you go back or you log out for the night because you have to go to bed and you sign back in, you don't want to log back in and then have to wait an unknown amount of time before he respawns. So I would say
True, true. So
hopping in
I don't know.
immediately when you load in isn't the end of the case because yeah, you might have just camped outside his zone to try and kill him on the next session, and
And you
you know
don't want to have to spend an hour waiting for it to pop in.
yeah,
Yeah. From that
that's
point
the
of view,
point.
I can
So
definitely understand why you want them to pop in immediately. Absolutely. I totally agree there. We'll see.
yep.
Fixing mission achievements. After rework, total number of missions to complete was incorrect, so the achievements couldn't be completed successfully. Talked about it.
Mhm.
The trackers achievements been fixed as they were not counting the first mission in every tree, like they should have been. So yeah. Again, fixing the achievements. Fixing an issue where the exotic item was not correctly tagged, which means it could not be collected and added to the transport pods and sent to orbit. Yeah, I've seen this mentioned in Discord, and they straight away like started working on the fix during the weekend already. Uh, yeah, you couldn't send up exotics no more.
That's a problem.
It's tad annoying, especially if you're like actively gathering exotics because
Farmers.
you want this particular item right now.
True.
But I wouldn't call this a game. Well, it's procession halting, yes, but not really game breaking, especially not since they fixed it within a week. But I can definitely understand people being quite annoyed about this. Luckily, they fixed it.
Yep, yep.
And then we get to the future content. Alternate fire on the legendary flamethrower. 2 alternate fires, the fireball and the flame burst. The lava hunter
Ooh.
flamethrower. Remember
Yeah,
when they said like
yeah,
this might be important in the coming weeks? Yes, the lava hunter flamethrower
yep.
as a legendary weapon.
Oh,
The,
already?
that's why they added
I don't
lava
know.
hunter as
That
a world
sounds.
boss.
Oh boy, dude, you're thinking the timeline is really getting progressed. I'm thinking that
Ah,
yeah. I mean, I
I'm
understand,
I'm
but
hopeful. I'm
the
hopeful. Let's put it this way. I'm hopeful.
sure. Okay. No, fair point. Fair point.
So fireball and flame burst, 2 alternate fire modes. Cool, cool.
Yeah.
Let's
More
see.
8 boss changes, hammock slug fixes.
Rock Golem. Ricochet hit indicator for the new hit zone for the Rock Golem. And actually there is a little bit more
Yeah, because I'm assuming the
there's a little bit more info about the Rock Golem and Ricochets. Yeah, the Rock Golem's faceplate armor now always ricochets incoming projectiles. So you have to get up close and hit him in the face with melee. Hey Infinity, some weapons will be available with the Biolab, so we can customize weapons and stuff. Yes, indeed. Now they're saying about the Lava Hunter world boss gonna be important in the coming couple of weeks. I'm quite hopeful that in the upcoming couple of weeks we will be getting those legendary weapons. So, hey Josh, welcome. Yeah, Rock Golem, faceplate armor, ricochet incoming projectiles. It's gonna
yeah,
be an
yeah.
interesting one. Uh, Adding unique legendary flamethrower audio, actionable to the data table.
Yeah.
I'm definitely working on it. Added new ballistic mechanic that allows projectiles to ricochet off certain strong points, as in the faceplate of the rock golem, the face armor. Or maybe you have to hit him in the back of the head to make his faceplate come off. I don't know. If you have to go in
That's
with melee,
yeah. They
that's
will
gonna
have
be
to see.
interesting, man. There,
Yeah, I mean, it's also then one or two lines down. It says the Rock Golem's final phase now attacks at least once after each jumping attack.
yeah,
So if the Rock Golem is going to be jumping around and smashing and going crazy and throwing a tantrum, and then you have to hit the specific weakness, shot, but you can't shoot because you have to hit it, then that's going to be a fun challenge. So definitely sounds challenging.
yeah. But hey, they're not supposed to be easy to take down, so yeah.
No, exactly, exactly.
Hey, added art
So more
assets for the
audio
raptor creature.
mods.
Was the raptor mentioned before?
Raptor. It rings a bell, but not in quite some time.
Exactly. Hey,
Raptor.
hold on. Added
Hmm.
animation blueprint, control rig, NPC blueprint, and mount blueprint for the raptor creature. Added entries in the AI
Interesting.
setup data type. So we are gonna be able to write a raptor. New mount.
Yeah, possibly
You haven't heard about raptors before,
between the
Infinity?
lines,
It,
yes.
it it has been mentioned. I believe it has been mentioned once or twice. The raptor in future content in earlier patch notes, but it's been a while. Here,
Yeah.
other creatures, but not raptors. Yeah, like the orca, which is being mentioned in this patch notes as well. But for this one, Mount's blueprint for the raptor. Nice. I'm gonna ride a raptor then. I hope it's like a proper raptor with a proper attack. Although I do wonder how it's gonna compare with the Tusker because the Tusker man, he rocks in the Arctic biome. Well, not so much against the a mammoth because of the massive health pool. Tusker does do like what 150 damage per attack. So like 3, 4 attacks and a wolf is down. It is an area of effect attack, so it deals with packs of wolves very quickly. Uh, Mammoth not so quickly. And Scorps, yeah, best not to engage too many of those either. But for wolves
Mhm.
and yaks, the Tusker is a beast, literally and figuratively. So I wonder how the Raptor will then compare attack-wise to the Tusker.
Well, there's an interesting keyword that comes down, which that's ballistic. I can't even read anymore. Never mind. I thought I read ballistic as basilisk for some reason.
Ballistic in which ballistic mechanic allows projectiles to ricochet off.
Yeah, yeah. I was like,
Basilisk mechanic.
basilisk. That's a
Oops.
type
Yeah, no.
of raptor. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, by the way, Infinity, the orca, last week I believe it was saying something about walking of the orca. So I don't think it's gonna be the fish. So I don't think it's gonna be an underwater biome. I could be mistaken, but orca usually spelled like last week definitely, and in previous patch notes as well with a K, not with a C. In this patch notes, it's once spelled with a C and once with a K, I believe. But yeah, normally it's the orca with a K. And do you recall, Carlos, last week or 2 weeks ago, where they were saying something about orca and walking? Quadruped?
No, I can't recall.
Okay.
Recall.
Oh well. Let's see. What else do we
My
have?
memory isn't the best, but
Memory? What's that?
like the rock column jumping thing is, going to be interesting.
So hits on rock golem armor plating, not only face plating, but armor plating, now ricochets bullets, dealing no damage. Then how the heck you gonna be supposed to be like taking care of the thing? Must be melee then.
Well, what happened to armor piercing? It's if it's going to, if you're shooting black tips at a freaking rock
True,
golem, one would
true.
assume that it should be doing some form of damage, but it's to be seen because if that's not going to do anything, I'm
Well,
pretty sure if you take your explosive shotgun, it's still going to do stuff. But we'll see.
so yeah, but it's not no longer projectile damage, but explosion damage. Now, if you combine this with earlier
Exactly.
patch notes future content, like you will be able to knock off armor pieces. And I
Oh
believe
yeah.
you can pick them
Yep.
up, pick up those armor pieces. But at some point, the rock golem is gonna like eat some rocks and regenerate its armor, regenerate or eat minerals and
Yep.
regenerate some particular like oxide armor, for example, or so. Whatever it's gonna be. Maybe you need
Hey,
like specific ammo types for specific types of armor.
actually, this that does tie into it because wasn't there a thing where it would eat rocks, but then it's like, wasn't there something about golems and things like that? So if he eats a
Exactly.
golden node, he becomes like a golden
Gold
enchanted
armor.
type or like golden buffed golem, and then he
Yeah.
eats an oxide node or a sulfur node, and that's
Exactly.
actually a pretty cool mechanic. That's actually a pretty cool mechanic.
Yeah.
Huh.
So
And then maybe based upon what he ate last, he would drop certain items from that, like a unique
yeah.
gold something or other that's needed to craft the I don't know, some sort of legendary item. Interesting.
Yeah, but
Very
also
interesting.
maybe like depending on the mineral type of the armor, you need a specific ammo type. Would make
Yeah,
for
exactly. Yeah,
interesting
you would need to.
mechanic.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You would need to be prepared with various bullets or
Yeah.
ammunitions or different, things
So it
to
would
be
no
able
longer
to.
be a one ammo fits all. No, you have to like literally look. Okay, what kind of armor is he wearing now? So based on that, I have to choose this type of ammo now.
could depends on how much of resistance it gains, but yeah, it's
True,
probably
but
good.
gonna be if it's gonna
Because
work that way, it's gonna be an interesting
yeah,
mechanic.
yeah,
Me like it. Okay, let's see. We're gonna get a birdhouse apparently. Wooden birdhouse, either a stand-in or a wall mount. What? You wanna like keep the key close by or what? We're gonna get some like extra birds. But then
could be.
why?
Uh,
What's gonna be the use of those?
yeah, some people just have pets. What's the purpose of a cat? What's the purpose of a dog?
True,
You know,
true.
I mean,
You could go for like extra comfort buff. The purpose of a dog
basically.
and extra cats is well they can attack animals.
So cats can attack.
Yeah,
Ah,
and dogs like wolves, you can
yeah.
run around with a pack of dogs and have them attack everything.
Yep, yep. So
Adding missing lava hunter biomass. Yes, definitely lava hunter hunting. Hunting the lava hunter is gonna
mhm,
be a thing here.
mhm. Playing around with the boss icons, tweaking on legendary weapons, in the sense of costs and things as such, and resource drops.
Reparent the instance cave entrance mesh. Scaling it doesn't scale the teleport placement disk. This must be for the Great Hunt. It was they mentioned like this teleport in combination with Great Hunt, like teleport to Great Hunt Arena a couple of patch notes back in the future content.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, here Orca Vocal. Here's Orca spelled with the K infinity.
Hmm.
Further break up the screams when the Great Ape is throwing rocks. And there's no problem. Different screams when throwing rocks, so it's not the same scream all the time. Some fixes for the Iceman with the boss fight music. Or music is important.
Mhm.
More Raptor. Rock Golem boss fight music.
So the slug grenade things might also be something that's coming in because next week is the slug. So if the week after, because they said the coming weeks, so within, it might be interesting what they might drop loot already for, the next DLC or the expansion, whatever it is, the bringing in the Great Hunts into the story.
Yeah. Well, we have the Lava
So,
Hunter now, and the Lava Hunter Flamethrower is in the works. Next week we
well,
get the Hammerhead Slug, and the Hammerhead Slug grenades are in the works. So
yes, that's a
when is the
question.
weapons
Yeah,
coming? I don't know.
well, no, not the weapons coming. I'm wondering if you would get the drops needed for the weapons already from the
Well,
from the bosses.
they are working on the boss resource drops.
Yeah, so I'm just wondering, it's like, oh, you kill it now, you get an item. Ooh, cool, I have something from the boss. I don't know what it is yet, but I'm going to definitely hold on to it because I know it's coming up and it's going to be used. How many is necessary,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or
Or is it like you
maybe
just
it will
finally
be
kill the boss
added.
and it's empty, you
Maybe
know?
it will be added to the loot table once they introduce the weapons
Yeah,
and biomass and so. I don't know.
yeah, that's the question. I mean, realistically, if it's a piece off of a dead animal you've just killed, it would be there right now if you're going to harvest it, but you probably don't know what to look for. I'm talking about a lore perspective.
Well, if it's an unknown item I'm getting for loot, I'm definitely gonna take it.
Yeah, of
Definitely gonna
course, that's
keep
my
it.
point.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
I wish
Quest
they would
markers.
still add underwater biomes. Some talents in Adventure Tree would make more sense. Uh, which talent you're talking about? Infinity, the one for faster swimming? I believe there's
Uh,
something to that extent.
there is one, yeah, I usually take it for my speedrun character thing. You don't swim a lot in the game, realistically, but
Nah, I usually, if I need to travel fast and it's not like directly in the vicinity of the base, I just grab a MOA or something.
yeah.
But yeah. You were mentioning another bullet point?
Yeah, no, it was just you know, quest markers and location markers being changed. So they're basically making small passes and optimizations. So it's you know, it's just reading small things.
Hmm. Yeah, bird feeders are gonna be a thing. Implemented bird feeders, bird bath, iron, gold, water, as well as their materials, textures, and DMs. Swimming speed and less oxygen consumption underwater. Think like deep crevasses in water where we can swim, collect minerals only found underwater and stuff. Interesting, yeah. Like some deep sea between quotes minerals. Interesting. Interesting thought, definitely. Like Subnautica. Yeah.
I mean, there isn't a lot of sectors in the map where you could actually go underwater at all much. I mean, there's one or
Yeah.
two spots on Olympus, I think, but
Well, yeah, like the cave with the underwater tunnel to go to. There's one in Styx as well,
that's
or at
tiny.
least one
I'm
in a
referring to the
lake. And
island. Yeah, the big lake, the one that had like the big spiky things come out of it, and you have to swim past it because there was a bear mission at the island, which was
that
a
is
small sliver.
Ring Island.
Uh,
No,
yeah, the
no,
Ring
no,
Island
Ring
one.
Lake. The Ring Lake is the
Ring
one
Lake.
with all the crocs. Yeah.
Ah, okay, it's not that one then.
No, but
No,
there
not
is a
that one
lake
then.
in Styx where you have to like in the middle of the lake you have to dive into a tunnel and then that leads to like
Ah,
two rather big caves. A big one and a medium-sized one. But yeah, like deep dive uh, for some specific resources in the new map. Maybe. But then again, like the less oxygen consumption underwater, just grab an oxygen tank, man. You won't need this less oxygen consumption underwater anymore. Only like early gameplay. And if it's gonna be like a hard to reach material, I don't think it's gonna be an early gameplay material then. So, I don't know how
you're already in an
useful.
envirosuit, yeah. So
Yeah,
living weapons can now be specifically can now specify multiple default meshes instead of just one per slot.
multiple default meshes instead of just one per slot. Huh.
Now the thing there, it's like I'm wondering is like
Ah,
whether or not that would indicate that might be unique skinned like legendary weapons, or because a living weapon isn't a legendary weapon, or is that another word for a legendary
I
weapon? Is a
think it's
living
gonna be
weapon?
another word for.
Ah, yeah,
You need the biomass to make the weapon. Like these
yeah,
animal specific biomass.
yeah,
And it will be upgradable, so yeah, multiple default meshes, like depending on the upgrades put on.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah. Shit, I know limestone will be a new resource. Yeah, limestone underwater? I don't think so. Limestone and water, they don't play that nice. Water always wins from limestone. So I'd say limestone is gonna be a dry land resource, not an underwater one. Let's see, here's Orca spelled with a C again.
Yeah,
Not in the water,
good
but on land. Yeah, indeed.
localization.
Hm. New alien
I'm just
tunnel
picturing a walking
meshes.
orca. That's it. I don't know why, but I'm picturing a big orca whale with tiny little legs where the fin is, and then just walking on
Well,
land. I think it's the most stupid idea ever, but I don't know why. But I have no idea what an orca could refer to
like
if it's not an orca
Elysium is
or a whale.
gonna be even more alien than Prometheus.
Yeah.
And we have seen some concept art in some patch notes a while ago, true, but with some pretty nasty looking creatures.
Aha.
Maybe one of those is gonna be that orca.
Definitely, yeah.
Let's see. Hammered slug. Fix physical damage on slug spit. Reduce the duration of the slime. Reduce poison damage. Increase physical damage. Okay, so the next week's hammerhead slug is gonna do less poison but more physical damage. So you can't really fight it without armor and just a poison pill. You better bring some armor. Check.
We're
Updated.
mentioning Gargantuan again.
Yeah. Gargantuan B Great Hunt map marker. Gargantuan.
Gargantuan, yeah.
Update item ape hide textures to better quality version. So for the great ape, the biomass thingy is going to be the hide.
Possibly, yeah.
What was the legendary weapon for the ape? The club, I believe. You could make
Yeah,
the ape club or
yeah.
something. I'm trying to think where the hide would come into play then. Or is this just some kind of
Grip.
trophy thingy?
It's probably the grip.
Yeah, maybe the grip.
Could be. There was probably like a throne, wasn't there, or something like that? I don't know. Well, there was the black wolf throne. I don't know. There will be crafting like decor in furnishings from the pelts as well. From the
Yeah.
legendary creatures, you will be able to make. You can put them
Uh,
into a rug. I don't know,
yeah,
something to
the
that effect.
different types of trophies. Like a
Yeah,
throne from I don't know exactly anymore which animal,
yeah,
but yeah.
yeah.
Let's see. Uh, huh? Hammerhead Slug. Added projection health bar to each version of the Hammerhead Slug. Okay. Added override to allow any creature a health bar with a checkbox. Slugs will no longer try to merge with other slugs that are in a cocoon state. Okay, so that would mean at least 3 slugs. So the Hammerhead Slug splitting up in at least 3 smaller ones. It's going to be
Yeah.
very, very interesting to fight.
Mm.
You definitely need to make sure that next week you have updated the game like on time and
Unfortunately, I
try
only
to.
get home after 6,
Yeah.
7 o'clock, so if it takes 2 hours to update the game, which probably would even take longer because it's not going to be a small update, it's just I can't
Uh,
make any promises.
I don't know, like comparable to today, since it's added world boss today, and next week is going to be added another world boss.
Yeah, well, since we started, it's only upgraded 3 gigs, so 1 meg connection speeds for the win. Vodafone is the best provider ever. You're
Eh,
right. But then finishing new things,
okay,
it
let's
doesn't
see.
seem. I mean, the one thing there that I saw close to the bottom was sand falls to the rock golem arena. So we talked like last week related to,
Yeah, let's
like
see. Where's the
sand
sandfall thingy?
waterfalls. That's close
Um,
all the way to the bottom. I mean, there's a lot of bullet points, but
close to the bottom. Yeah, I'm trying to find it now.
fourth from bottom, basically.
Oh yeah, at Sandfos Rock Golem Arena. What I find
Yeah.
more interesting, a little bit further above, the Sandworm crossbow now fires spears as intended.
Hmm. Well, that does make some sense.
So there's going to be like an oversized crossbow.
Yeah, like a harpoon gun type of thing.
So will it be spears or will it be javelins? I reckon javelins, but okay.
Javelins. Yeah, I would say javelins.
So how big is that thing going to be then if it fires javelins? It's going to be interesting.
Hmm.
And they also add a new weapon crate mesh, the Norex weapon crate mesh, new form of crate for the legendary weapons. So when they are dropped, they appear as the box and not their core pieces.
Oh,
Weapons, huh? Are we getting the weapon pieces directly from those animals, or, and I believe that's going to be the case, send up the biomass and cool down
floats it back
the
down. Yeah,
weapon pieces?
the processed component.
Also further increase the chance that the great ape will produce a noxious gas when low on health. So definitely gonna be running a green pill if you do the great ape. The Great Hunt's radio thing is also Norix device. So Norix is gonna be like the next company wanting a piece of the Icarus pie.
Yeah, I mean
Update,
it's money. Companies chase money.
true. Updating the ape FX to not use its own unique one rather than Scorpion Burrow. What? Is the great ape gonna like dig himself a hole in the ground as well? Hmm? Uh,
Uh, don't know. Yeah.
I don't know. I want this great hunt now. I don't want to have to wait a couple of more weeks. Come on, give it now. I want to know.
Well, we'll find out eventually. But everything good takes time, as they say.
Eventually,
So,
but you know me, I'm not the most patient person.
well, they might, as long as they feel comfortable releasing it, that's what's important.
True,
But
true. Better
we shall see.
do it right. Better take the time to make it right first time, definitely. Could it be base defense weapon that shoots javelins like Roman ballista? Hmm,
Ooh, wow, that's a good one. Yeah, I like
interesting.
that one.
So next to
Yeah,
the pistol
because I mean the
turrets,
sandworm is pretty big. Yeah, yeah.
next to the pistol turrets, you're
Ballistas.
gonna put down those
Ah,
ballistas down.
yeah, that's pretty cool. That is also very reminiscent of Valheim, for example. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
that's a good one.
interesting
Yeah,
idea,
because it doesn't
Infinity.
make sense, and more practical in a sense. Because yeah, that definitely means that it'll be a fixed defense unit, and there are sentry turrets in the game. So expanding on that, which is pretty cool, is that's a good one.
Yeah, interesting idea.
Especially because you would want to have probably expanding your defenses of your base to combat bigger creatures if they decide to knock on your door for a cup of tea.
Well, you know, there's gonna be no defense against the big blue, but okay, sure.
Well, like I said, you could probably try and tickle his belly with some spears being shot at him. I don't know. Just try.
Tickle his toes, you mean? Tickling his belly, you wouldn't need
Yeah,
the sandworm crossbow to even reach his belly.
yeah. So,
Bliss could be like tier 3 base defense weapon before turrets. No. I would classify it tier 5 actually instead of tier 3. Like
yeah, it's an
it's
automate unless it's manually shot though. Unless you have to be in it to shoot it. That would be a different thing. Not automated, but actually more like a stationary thing that you would get in and you would shoot the things basically like a sentry turret. But then it's you would load it, pull it in, shoot it, winch a thing to put in the new one, like a big crossbow, and then shoot it again to defend your base against the big thing that's attacking it. But I don't know how practical that would be. If it's an automated one that shoots, any creature attacking it, yeah, it'll have to be high tier.
yeah, but also
Or else it'll be
like
overpowered.
well, it's only for the initial crafting that you need to kill the sandworm a couple of times, and the sandworm is not the hardest once you know how to handle him. Yeah,
Hmm.
knife, the single spin, double spin, single spin, double spin, rotation. And the
It would be pretty cool if they,
occasional lunch.
yeah, well, that's the thing, if they mix it up a bit.
Oh yeah.
But either way, anything else you find interesting in the notes?
Nope, not in the notes really. Like Slug now stops aggro when 100 meters away and no one else close. So if you don't want to fight a Slug, just run away. Eh,
Makes sense. I mean, it's a slug. It's not supposed to be the most agile creature out there.
exactly. Um, as for gameplay, Carl, how far is your update? Your game update, roughly?
No, no shots that it's going to be finished anytime soon, unless I get to allocating all the bandwidth I have, which I will do as soon as this session is, or the notes is finished.
Like I said, we can do tomorrow some Icarus gameplay. It
Well, you could also do the gameplay, and
should be
I
finished
mean,
by then. And then we can do, for example, a quick Valheim session tonight. And then, and like postpone the gameplay to tomorrow.
I'm willing to do so, but it's all up to you to make that final decision. I'll see
Yeah,
whether or not I can get the game updated anytime soon, but it would still be at least an hour to get it updated. So you could also start in the meantime if you wanted to, but I'm not sure what you would be trying to accomplish with that.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, plus it is a co-op open world, and I rather play it in co-op instead of like multiple people playing solo in the same open world. So I'd say we take a break, like 10-15 minute break, and then we'll be doing some Valheim gameplay. And tomorrow we will be doing the Icarus. And then we definitely are gonna check out this Lava Hunter. Quite possible that we gonna like take one look and then run away. Or maybe we're gonna try it out.
I mean, we're kitted up with some weapons over there. I mean, I'm not sure. I've never fought the thing. It might
I
be
have.
easy, just like the Scorpion King. It's like a breeze, walk in the park. He'll just curl over and die if he just sees us coming. So it just depends. It'll be pretty nice to see,
I
whether or not
fought
we
him
encounter him.
solo. I fought him solo. I mean, I'm willing to have a go at it tomorrow and die trying.
Yeah, yeah, we'll see. I mean, no dying. I mean, just run away if your health is low, and but
Yeah,
we'll see.
he's gonna be following me. Yeah. So, but we'll see. We'll do that tomorrow, and then, like I said, we're gonna take a 10-15 minute break, and then we'll be doing some Valheim gameplay instead of Icarus. So that's it for the patch notes for today. Very interesting, and definitely want to check out the Lava Hunter tomorrow. So in the meantime, thanks for being here. Really appreciate it. I hope you had a good time. Uh, like I said, it was nice going through the patch notes again. A couple of nice things to think about regarding the future content as well. Uh, yeah, like I said, we're gonna take a quick break now. We will be back with a new stream, so I'm gonna end this stream here. We'll be back with a new stream in like 10 to 15 minutes. So again, thanks for being here. Really appreciate it. I hope you had a good time, and hopefully we'll see you in a bit for some gameplay.